Good morning, dobro utro, and welcome to the first in our series of recipes from North Macedonia. That's a country we moved to in 2010 and where we lived for 3.5 years. It's a country with quite extremes of temperature. It gets up to something like 40 degrees in the hot summer months, but it also drops below freezing and you get snow and ice in winter. So the cuisine of North Macedonia is a real mix of summer salads and warming winter stews. And today we're going to do not one but two recipes from the country, both with wonderful names. The first is Cevapcici, which is a kind of minced sausage, and the other is Tavche Gravche, which is a baked bean stew or casserole. So what do we need for all of that? Well, the weight is made up in terms of the Cevapcici with our minced meat, and for the Tavche Gravche with white cannellini or white beans of some kind, and really everything else is just flavouring or texture to support those two main ingredients. So we've got a little bit of oil, we've got some, you could use passata, tomato juice, crushed tomatoes, but I actually quite like using these bottles of Big Tom because they're not only tomato, they've got a bit of kick to them as well. And we've got some vegeta, which, as you might recall, is the actually originally Croatian vegetable stock powder, but you can use a vegetable stock cube if you don't have vegeta to hand. Some paprika, an egg. We're only actually going to use the white of the egg. Some mint. Now you can use fresh mint or dried mint. I don't have them, so I'm using some jarred mint. They all work well enough. An onion. It's going to go into both dishes, and you'll see quite a few of the ingredients will go into both dishes. Bay leaf, some cayenne pepper, some cumin, some onion powder, some garlic powder, some bicarbonate of soda, and salt and pepper. So that's everything we're going to need. See you shortly. So today we're going to need a chopping board, a knife, a mixing bowl, a wooden spoon, a saucepan, a frying pan, and an oven dish. Okay, so while these are two very simple, straightforward dishes, they both require a little bit of preparation in order to make them as good as possible. Fairly simple though. For the beans, all I'm going to do with them is cover them with some warm water about 2 or 3 centimeters above the level of the beans. Add a little bit of salt, cover it, and then just leave that overnight to soak. That's the preparation, nothing else. So we'll come back to our beans, our soaked beans in the morning. Now for cevapcici, I've got my meat here in the bowl, and I'm basically going to make the mixture up today so I can put it in the fridge overnight and the flavours will all mingle and mix. So what do we add? We add our chopped or grated onion, chopped very finely or grated. We add the white of 1 egg, and then here we have garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne pepper, paprika, and some bicarbonate of soda. So we're going to add all of those. And then salt and pepper, and be quite generous with both. Okay, so now we're going to mix it up. Much easier to use your fingers than a spoon, so just get your hands in there, squidge it all around. That mixes it up really well. And also, as you do it, you can sort of throw the meat a little into the side of the bowl. That has the advantage also that it will break down the mince even more and make it softer when it comes to cooking it tomorrow. So really that's it. That's our mixture made. Our beans nicely soaking, and I'll see you in the kitchen tomorrow. So for our cevapcici, we need 500 grams of minced meat, half an onion, grated or chopped, 1 egg white, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, salt and pepper. And for the Tavche Gravche, we need 250 grams of dried cannellini beans, 1 onion, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of vegeta or stock cube, vegetable stock cube, half a teaspoon of cumin, a bay leaf, half a teaspoon of dried mint or jarred mint, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, around 100 millilitres of passata or tomato juice, salt and pepper. Okay, dopo l'altro. Welcome back to tomorrow. So, yesterday we soaked our beans in some warm water overnight, salted water. And what I've done since then is I've drained the water off, rinsed the beans, and I put them back into the pan with some fresh water, which I'm now heating up. And all I'm going to do now is add some chopped onion, and then I'm adding my garlic powder, vegeta, a little bit of cumin and a bay leaf, and put them all into the pan like that. Take a spoon, stir them all around, and we're just going to let that simmer for about an hour probably. 2 things to keep an eye on. The first is the amount of water, in case that needs topping up if the water level's getting too low. And the other thing is what we're trying to do is make sure the beans are completely cooked, otherwise they're fairly indigestible, but they don't go mushy. So if they start going a little soft around the edges, stop cooking. But roughly speaking, an hour should do it, and then we'll come back, finish the dish off, and stick it in the oven. Okay, so now we're going to make our cevapcici. So all we really do is take a piece, let's say about that big, and just gently roll it out. So it's like a mini sausage. You can make them short or a bit longer. I like mine quite small, so they're about 4 centimeters long, like that. And just take them all. Now you might have noticed there's not as much mince as there was yesterday. That's because there's only 2 of us for dinner tonight. So I've actually put half the mincemeat in the freezer. So we've got cevapcici another week or something very similar. But all we've got enough for 2 here. So cevapcici is actually a diminutive term. The word is cevapi, and that's what they're called in Serbia and Bosnia. And these things are very popular throughout the Balkan region. And cevapi actually comes from the Turkish word for kebab. So you can see the link there. And kebab itself just means grilled meat. So there we are. And in Romania, they have, I think it's called mitimea or something, and which just means little things, but they're almost the same as cevapcici. So I'm just going to continue with this, make them all up, and then we'll go back to the kitchen, finish off our beans, and fry our cevapcici. Okay, so our beans have now cooked down for an hour. They're nicely done, I think. So what I'm going to do now is put a little bit of oil in the frying pan, and to that I'm going to add a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of, or quarter of a teaspoon maybe, of cayenne pepper, half a teaspoon of mint sauce, and a little bit, 50 millilitres, 100 millilitres of tomato juice. Give that a good stir around. And now to that, I'm going to add our beans. So we just, if there's a little bit of water or juice left, leave that in the pan because you don't need any more liquid than you've already got with the tomato and the oil. And give that a good stir around. And you'll see the beans taking on a bit of a reddish colour. There's the paprika and the tomato and the cayenne do their job. Stir it all around. And then all we do after that is transfer the mixture into an oven dish. So that's our bean casserole, our Tavche Gravche. So that's not going to go into the oven for about an hour. What you want is that a bit of sort of a crust or a skin forms on the top of it, ideally. So that should be ready in about an hour from now. And then we'll fry the Cevapcici and assemble our Macedonian dinner.